When I saw that eye, I knew I could do something about it. So with a light box, a catheter, and 5 ophthalmologists looking over my shoulder, I was able to perform his surgery. At the end, the next day, he looked excellent, and we saved his sight.
So we call glaucoma the sneak thief of sight. And that's the reason, because it's a silent disease. It damages your neurons and your optic nerve, and you don't really know what's happening for the vast majority of people. So cure glaucoma to me is all about catching that thief, putting them away. Our goal is to allow somebody to keep useful vision so they function the best they can throughout their life. And if we accomplish that, that's unbelievably exciting. But we do tell patients, listen, we don't always win, but most of the time we do.
For me, it probably started, 10 years ago. And I would, initially a friend of mine had called me to say, come go on a mission trip. And I said, okay, well, let's go. And I didn't really know what to expect. The third day into this visit, this lady comes in, and she's being led in by her daughter. I had this little portable slit lamp that I was using, and the daughter helped her to sit down. And I took a look in her eyes. She had really high pressures. Her nerve was cupped out. And she was blind in both eyes. And for a second there, I just sat back and I said to her, I said, well, lady, I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do for you. Singularly, that changed me. She fell on the floor, and in her native language, she started to wail. She had this, it was so agonizing, everybody started to cry. I just joined them. Her daughter who came with her, everybody was crying, the whole room. She said her life was over, and it really was, in a country where there's no support, where there's no other options, where that means your life is finished and everybody else who is supposed to help you can't make a living because they have to stay with you. So I said to her daughter, I gathered myself and I said to her daughter, I said, you take a seat, let me take a look. And she was probably in her 20s, 22, 23. And I took a look in this young girl's eyes. She was almost cupped out, and she also had a pressure in the 30s and the 40s. And, by this time I had help. They had calmed the lady down, and I said to her, I said, I couldn't help you. I didn't get here soon enough, but at least maybe we can help your daughter. She has glaucoma too. She's 20-something. She will go blind. That was something to do. Now, 10 years down the road, there's cure glaucoma, and there are procedures, like practice has worked on a procedure called the GAT procedure. And a year ago, I went back on a different mission trip, where I went to, and I left with hope. I left feeling that I had done a good service, not just hand people drops. That girl is probably, I don't know, she was from a village, probably couldn't afford her medicines. Maybe she's blind now. And I wish this happened 10 years ago, but this is what we have. But I think from now on, going forward, it will be different. And it will be different because of what we plan to do with cure glaucoma. That's what it means to me. One person at a time. Hopefully in teaching that one person, she'll teach another person. And she'll treat 1,000 people. And in going and doing for one person, you're hoping that, I look at that little boy now, and I don't know what he's going to be tomorrow, but hopefully it'll be something better than he would have been. And I think that should be enough.
People are going blind. And we're not like the other doctors that are trying to improve vision. We're trying to save vision so you don't lose vision. And that's a hard thing to deal with because we don't always win. And having new procedures and new techniques is hopeful for us. And it gives us hope that, hey, we've got options here. We're not going to be living in the past. I tell people it's not like getting your appendix out, where you go get your appendix out and you're done in a few days and you get better. Well, we're hoping that our new surgery, the gap surgery, and all the surgeries that we can hopefully develop over the future will be a lot less labor intensive and more like that appendix, where you can get fixed and get gone. We're going to figure out something new for the future that's going to better our society and better our profession. So it's exciting.
The exciting thing about this technology is that we can do it with a very inexpensive suture. And so there's no company that can sponsor it that has a vested interest in a huge profit behind this device. This is truly a safe, inexpensive thing that we can teach people to do, and plant seeds all throughout the world, and then watch them grow, and watch second generation, third generation people learn this technique, and it become ideally the mainstay way of treating glaucoma. And if you're blind in the US, you have a seeing eye dog, you have crosswalks, you have social services that can help you. But if you're blind in a small village in India or a small village in Africa, there are no crosswalks. There are no seeing eye dogs. You have a seeing eye child. And what typically happens is the grandson or the son will lead the father or grandfather around. And so you're depriving the grandfather or the father of being a productive member of society, and then you're also depriving this 5 or 10-year-old boy of a childhood. And with one surgery to restore that vision, you're giving 2 people their lives back.
She didn't think I was going to get as much eyesight back as I have got, and I have got a lot of my eyesight back.
All my children, of course, have had to go, to different doctors and different doctors to take care of their glaucoma, and so far, if the research continues to help with glaucoma, it would be so great. And if we could get funding for research, that would be even more so.
Dr. Grover was very concerned and said we need to get him into surgery now. So I think his pressures were like in the 30s, almost to the 40s. So he said if we would have waited any longer, he could have lost his sight.
Yeah, he saved my life, or my eyesight, pretty much. I was just really scared. I didn't know what they were gonna do. I remember telling my mom that, are they gonna cut my eye out and put some stuff in it or something like that? But they said no, they're not gonna do that. Our first one was a stepfather.
Stepdad.
Because he took care of you.
Yeah.
And he saved your eyesight.
Yeah, of course.
Definitely.
That's very special.
Major.
I probably wouldn't be even seeing right now. My pressures were at 40, and thanks to the surgery, I'm at 10, no medications for 3 years, which is amazing because I've had glaucoma since I was 15.
I still am in disbelief that his eyes have basically resumed a normal appearance, everything, and it's unheard of that you are basically controlled on no medications without ever having made a major incision on the eye. There are certain moments in your career you will never forget. And the first time we did your eye, it was Dr. Feldman and I, and we planned it out. We did the surgery, and it was going. My heart was just pounding because it was just going so well. And I said, "This is impossible. It can't. It's like a dream coming true right before our eyes." But just watching it happen, and my heart is pounding, and then I see it coming around, and we complete the surgery, open up your own drain, 360 degrees without having to really touch the white part of the eye. And Dr. Feldman and I, we have our masks. You can't see your face. You have the masks on. You have the hat on. We look at each other. Our eyes are just, in disbelief, and we we give each other a little sterile fist bump.
It's a blessing,
So
My mom every day she prays for you guys for doing what you guys did here. She feels blessed to the most extreme.
Heard of the term, I thought old people get it. That's just what I thought. I had no idea that an infant could have it. And we saw Dr. Smith, and as soon as she looked at it, it was just, she said, okay, we have to get her into surgery. I talk to a lot of women now. They see Oakley's glasses and they say, how do they know at that age, you know, if there's a problem? So I tell her story, and I tell the moms, if you ever are concerned, if you have any question that your child might be having eye problems, just go. It's like Oakley, she could have been blind.
Now you can see what I'm doing. I mean, look at me, what I'm doing. This was not really possible before, you know. I could do it, but not that. When you see clearly, your speed goes fast, and everything is different. Everything is different.
I had a lady come in with very advanced glaucoma in both eyes, very poor vision in both eyes. And I had asked her, are you planning on staying with us? Or are you going to go back to the practice that sent you over? And she said, oh, nobody sent me over. I actually heard about you guys through a bingo tournament that I was involved in. I just heard about how great you guys are. And I thought that I would come and look. And my other doctor said that there's nothing to do for me anymore. And I thought I'd come here and see what you guys have to offer, because I'm not seeing well, I'm not doing well as far as a vision standpoint. And we did our whole history and our exam and our whole normal rigmarole that we do for all patients. And then we sat down and we talked, and I told her, you know what, I probably can't make your vision better, but what I can work with you with is to prevent it from getting worse. And we can work together for the next 20 or 30 years, however long you're going to be with us, to make sure that the vision you have now that you're able to still play bingo with is the same vision you're going to have in 30 years and be able to continue to have that.
Something that I bet you 10 years from now we'll be kidding each other about it and saying, oh boy, I just can't believe we didn't know that, but now we figured it out, and now we get better results, and now there's less blindness from glaucoma.
Had we caught it early, had we been able to treat it earlier, they're in their most productive years here. They have families, they're supposed to be in the workforce, and now instead of working, they're having to have people care for them. And they're going to be like that for the rest of their life, you know, the next 30, 40, 50 years. And so that really has motivated me to realize that something else needs to be done. And that goes back to this fund. And I think that's one of the reasons it's so very important, because we have to get to people earlier, get them access to treatment, and we have to keep pushing to get better and better treatments so that we can prevent people like this from losing their vision.
Our mission at Cure Glaucoma to fund transformational research, global missions, and providing access to quality care is incomplete without your help. We need to depend on you to help us by making a donation, because every day counts. Please go to www.cureglaucoma.org to learn more about the cause and to make a donation. Join us as we change sight one person at a time.
Good. Oakley, if you can look over here. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh yeah, that'll do it. I wish that would work with adults.
It's a necklace. Put it on. Oh, nice.
So pretty.
Oh, wow. You are going to be Missy. Nice.
Look at you.
Nice.